Now, we wanted to understand more about this characteristic or what already happened within this tower of the biofilm. Now, go inside and dive to understand what are the characteristic or what happened inside this mega tower, inside this mushroom head. So let's start first here to describe the characteristic of the material inside, right? The matrix, this matrix composed of this biochemical also material with these microorganisms, and there are also other structured biochemistry that support this from survival. Let's start first by the oxygen. The bacteria start to differentiate their own characteristic based on the oxygen availability. Now, what we can see in this example, uh, bacteria start to be up, so it's more reachable for the oxygen. While going down, the characteristic of bacteria start to be more anaerobic, and this simplify for us these differentiations. Here in this expression, it's give us this figure. It's explain what are the steps for developing of the biofilm that we discussed before, reversible attachment that just bacteria around each other. Then it will start to produce the cellular clusters or EBS, which is the maturation first. In this case, in the maturation first, it started to be an irreversible attachment. So the way that the bacteria classify their own tasks start to be much more mature and clarified. So they will provide or go for the microcolonies, which start here the mushroom head to appear, then the dispersion or start to send plankotic cells or send their own spores or material to reform again another biofilm. Usually it's come from distance area. What we are seeing within this biofilm, the antibiotic resistance or antibiotic resistant to antibiotic penetration. Antibiotic already, the study says, or the theoretical understanding for this one, that there are, whenever the antibiotic will go from layer to layer, the concentration of antibiotics start here to be reduced and reduced and reduced. So we will reach to the level that the concentration of antimicrobial agent or antibiotic unable to produce the expected effect in another bacteria or in a different situation. This kind of resistant is just physiological nature, not related. So it's different than the antibiotic resistant that we will discuss later in the course. Now, within this layers or the ability of the biofilm here to produce this barriers or barriers within the layers, it's create a physical barriers contain these layers or these physical layers within the biofilm containing numerous anomic and cationic molecules such as protein or glycoprotein, and this able to degenerate or reduce or remove the impact of antibiotic on the antimicrobial. Here, for example, we can see here what's going on in the penetration of antibiotic, that theoretically we believe that the antibiotic can penetrate the superficial layers, but this penetration will not take access to go down within this mushroom head. It's commonly accepted within the literature that lowered antibiotic penetration toward the layer does not adequately clarify the rising of resistance of microorganism forming biofilm against antimicrobial agents. Now, the act of lowered antibiotic penetration in developing the biofilm is not clear, and there are, this is what we'll discuss in the coming lectures, that there are further features of the biofilm that enhance this antibiotic penetration. But here, this theoretically what's going on as part from the accumulation of antibiotic degenerating enzymes in the matrix, as we will discuss in the coming presentation. This is Abdul Karim Blasi. Thank you for being with us.